Hi, friends. Welcome to Tabletop Tonight. Tonight, I am looking back at my time at PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I took a bunch of photos, and I'm going to share those with you and share stories. So, before we even get started, this is what was in my suitcase. Yes, I had clothes. Don't get me wrong, there are clothes in here, but paydays, high chews, De La Rosa, marzipan, and also skyflakes. These were all treats that I wanted to get. Well, the skyflakes were requested by Mandy Hutchinson over at Salt and Sats. We had been on a panel together in LA back in October, and we did our panel. It was great. It was a fantastic event that Brotherwise Games helps host for Game Pathways. It's for students and underrepresented populations who are interested in getting the gaming business. And we did a panel on content creation, and after our panel, Mandy and I, of course, started talking about food. One thing led to another, and we ended up doing a snack exchange. So this is the first thing I did in my for PAX Unplugged. I packed a bunch of snacks. Mandy had requested these skyflakes, and then I figured, okay, I looked on the internet. What do my Canadian friends do not have easy access to? Payday's one of them, and I figured there's not really like a California specific candy, but in Southern California, we're really close to Mexico, and I figured, okay, I'm gonna get some Mexican treats, and that one, Michelle and I love the masapan de la Rosa. Oh, very very. It's sort of like peanut buttery. Oh, it's so good. Then the high chews. I wasn't sure, and I learned later on that these are sold in Canada. These Asian candies, very good, very tasty. But I just figured, okay, it's either Asian or Mexican style candies I want to bring from Southern California. They turn out to have high chews, but anyways, I gave those to Mandy and then also some of my other Canadian friends as well. Snack exchange, folks. I highly recommend it. Let's move on. There's me in the airport, Ontario. This is probably about 7 a.m. A little sleepy, but hey, if you notice that shirt, I always wear that shirt. That was my lucky shirt, my Catan going on a road trip shirt. It was a little cold, so I had my hoodie on. This is a plane trip over. This is my first layover. My one layover. I stopped in Dallas Fort Worth. But right there, if you can see that photo, that's that big, was it Arlington Stadium where the Cowboys play? Seats like 100,000 people. Insane. Welcome to Philly. I'm back. Yay. And it was a little late at night when I got in. I probably got in around 9:30 or 10. But I had to eat. I'd eaten during the trip over there. But I found a ramen place and I ordered ramen. They also had this really interesting appetizer. It was a shumai, but dipped in tempura coating and then fried. And I had to try it. I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it could have been better. It wasn't shumai. I believe it was hargao, the shrimp. The sauce I thought was a bit much. It was a little too rich for this. I think I would have liked it just with the crispy tempura and then just, that and without that sauce, because I thought the sauce overpowered the dish. But having said that, the ramen was legit. I'm always worried about Asian food in other cities outside of LA, because LA, we've got it made. We've got a ton of great food. There's a big Asian population of many different Asians, Filipino, Japanese, Chinese, Taiwanese, Vietnamese, etc., etc. And this ramen was legit. It could have easily been served in LA, and I would have been very, very happy. This is the tonkatsu with the pork. There are the noodles there, freshly made noodles, which I appreciate. Very, very nice. And then my hotel, I was staying at the Meridian, which I had no idea where it was. I do got to say this. I want to shout out Wise Wizard Games and Board Game Spotlight. Derek Funkhauser really set me up. I was not going to go to PAX U, and I would not have if it wasn't for them. So thank you, Derek. Thank you, Wise Wizard. Thank you, Board Game Spotlight. Y'all put me up. Y'all flew me out as a guest of yours, and I'm just so appreciative of it. The hotel was wonderful. It was close to the convention center, like a block away, and then another block away to Reading Terminal Market, which we'll talk about more in just a second. So there we are on the next morning, freshly, well, I was going to say I was well rested. I wasn't, I still had to get used to the time change, Eastern, but there is my view. I had a view of City Hall every morning, which was lovely at night, lovely in the morning. Just a good way to start every day. And here I am outside now. You'll notice I am a wimp. I'm from California. I've got a jacket, a hoodie, I've got a shirt, I had an undershirt, so I had 4 layers, plus my hat, plus, it doesn't show here, but I have my mittens, which I never get to use unless I'm on the East Coast. Well, no, I take that back. I have used my mittens here in the West Coast, just not as often. And I use them every day out there because I'm a Southern California guy. I'm not used to this cold stuff. This is like real cold. This is Thursday morning. I didn't have anything scheduled, so I scheduled a tour of Independence Hall. I went to Independence Hall. I've never been here. I wanted to see, where the founding fathers got together, and this is it. Independence Hall, the State House of Pennsylvania, the birthplace of the United States of America. Everybody now, USA, USA. Very, very cool bit of history there. There's the Supreme Court, and you'll notice it right in the middle there looks like a little cage. Thanks to our tour guide for letting us know. I believe our tour guide's name was Sean. He was great. It was about a 20-25 minute tour. It's very small. It's just this room and the room right across. But he gave us a lot of great information. Of course, I forgot it all. But the one thing I do remember, that little cage in the middle was basically where you go. The accused would go and stand there and face the judge and face the jurors. So it's funny that, the accused, innocent until proven guilty, yet you're in the middle of the cage. I thought that was funny. We all did. It's a little closer view. Again, this is not original stuff. This is all replicas. But there is one thing that I'm going to talk about in just a second that is the original, which is really, I thought it gave me chills, actually. So you'll notice here, that table in the middle, that's actually where the lawyers would sit. So rather than having 2 separate tables, back in the day, this was, a couple of hundred years ago, they all sat at the same table arguing their cases. There's our tour guide, and he's standing where the accused would stand. So you would try to you're facing everyone, the judge and jurors, from there. Okay, and this is just looking out in towards the back of Independence Hall. This is where, just in the middle of the space there, and this is the room right across. This is where all the different representatives came from all the 13 colonies, and according to our tour guide and according to the history books, there was 50 to 75 at any one time, and this room was small. Apparently people were just smaller back then or something, but I couldn't even imagine. It would have been crowded up in here. So I forget. Oh, he's showing some of the architecture, a photo of the architecture there. Again, this is this room where they had the first and second Continental Congress. So they were actually hammering out the Declaration of Independence here, getting ready to declare themselves free of England. And if you notice, right straight back there's that chair up in the middle. That is where George Washington would sit to preside over everything. That piece of furniture, folks, that's the one that was original. So that was really neat to see. That is, I'm sure it's been restored, but that's still the original chair where George Washington, the first president of the U.S. Sat. So I thought that was really cool. Here I am, yay, the tour's over, and I'm happy because I'm getting to see learn all this history. I think I might have been playing Hamilton songs in my head. That's why I was laughing. So here I am at the back of Independence Hall, where the clock is and everything. And continuing around, just a little sign about what we're seeing, and then the front of Independence Hall with a statue of George Washington, the man, the myth. Okay, so moving right along, I had to go across the street to Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell, folks, was a lot smaller than I thought. I thought it was going to be a ginormous thing, but no, it's right there. They do have it partitioned off, so you can't actually knock on it or try to ring it. I took a photo. I forgot to share the photo here, but on the other side, the famous crack is right there in the bell. But again, really cool thing to see. So much history, and it's something I've always wanted to do. So I was really happy. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, you can see the crack there, and of course, everyone's got to take their selfies next to the bell. So, excuse me, very, very cool to see all the history. And right across the street is Wawa. Apparently, that's sort of like a 7-Eleven type store. I was thrilled because look at that. We don't have this on the West Coast. Tasty cakes. They're wonderful. They're excellent. Michelle and I love the peanut butter chocolate taste mini cakes or whatever they're called. We also got the butterscotch crimpets. I love Tasty Cakes. And so I got some of those to take home. I wanted to, bring some, snacks for Michelle, myself, Lauren, and also for family members as well. So very, very, very delicious. And so that's at Wawa. They also have all kinds of other snacks and stuff. And oh, there's the front of the store, Wawa. That's where my Lyft picked me up. So this was only like probably about a mile away from the convention center, but when it's like 40 degrees out, I'm like, yep, I'm taking a Lyft. And it was only a couple of bucks, so that wasn't too bad. Kaduna, the first people I see at the convention center, I'm going here to get my vaccination and also my media badge. I saw Suzanne, right there in the middle, 425 Suzanne Sheldon, folks. If you don't follow her on Twitter. She's a legendary figure in the board game industry, deservedly so. Just an inspiration to me and an inspiration to a lot of other folks. She does so much good work. And also Eric Yurko. We were talking about him during the pre-show here. Eric does What's E Playing. Just amazing reviews and photos. So it was a real treat to see friends right off the bat. They had just gotten their badges and they're walking out, and I was walking in and ran into them. So love them both, and so nice to see them. Here's right outside the convention center. This is the School of Art, I guess, right across the street on Broad Street there, looking into, and this is looking straight in the convention center. I just think that's neat. They have this, big brush right there in the middle of the street there. Sort of funny. This is the inside of my hotel, the Meridian, on the 5th floor. When you walk out, it's like you walked into like this atrium that looks like, and they're just these old buildings, right? So they apparently made this hotel out of old buildings, and then they put a sky roof on it, a skylight. So it's a really neat space. So sort of a quiet space. And later on that day, friends from Discord, we met up, we played games here. So this is actually a really cool place to game. Unfortunately, there was no lights because it's lit up by the sky. So someone before us had taken like a little desk lamp that was somewhere else and put it right in the middle, and so we could play games right there. So that was neat. This was my first breakfast. So this is called the Dutch Place, and it is an Amish diner inside the Reading Terminal Market, and it's Amish owned and operated. And I had blueberry pancakes, which were wonderful, with butter. Now, the Amish folks, they don't, they still do everything old school. That is like freshly churned butter. I've never had butter like that. It was so silky smooth and sweet and delicious. The blueberries were fresh. Pancakes were ginormous. If you look on top of there, can you name what I had there? That's scrapple. That is a regional dish made of pork parts. Some pork parts that may not be the typical pork parts you think about. But then they make it into a meatloaf type thing with cornmeal, and they make it a loaf. They slice it, then they fry it. As you can see there, I probably got through about a quarter of it. It wasn't for me. I was thinking, honestly, it was sort of bland to my taste. I'm not afraid of different pork parts. I mean, I eat hot dogs. I don't eat them as much now, but I was thinking when they're talking about some that like pig heart or pig liver or all the pig face even. I think the Filipino dish sisig, which is all those unmentionable pig parts, but really done well with spices, lime, or calamansi, and then they fry it up, you put an egg on it. Oh, it's delicious. This was the total opposite. This was like mealy. In the mouthfeel wasn't that great. The taste was actually more bland than I expected. I thought it would be more porky taste, and it honestly wasn't. So I did have to try it. I always try to try the regional dishes whenever I go. Not for everyone, wasn't for me, but still happy that I tried it. Next is, there's one of the things I bought at Tasty Cakes, the peanut butter candy cakes. Delicious. There's the Reading Terminal Market. This is looking from across the street from the convention center. PAX Unplugged, by far the convention that I've been to, is the best location ever. They have the convention center. My hotel was a block away, and then right across the street, Reading Terminal Market. I was thinking it's sort of like the Grand Market in Los Angeles, but bigger. And do I say better? For the most part, yeah. They have more choices. I think the quality of food in the LA Grand Market, the top-notch places are better. But overall, I think this has so many different choices. And I really enjoyed it. I went there several times, so I can't say I didn't like it, right? It was so good. Here's inside. This is where I ate my breakfast, the Dutch eating place. It was always packed. The first day I went there early because I had that tour at Independence Hall, so I was able to go early before it got too crowded. And I actually met one gentleman. I forget his name now, but he was with a game company. And then I met another gentleman on the left of me. He was a local, so it was nice to have different conversations with a local, and then also someone who was also there for business, like myself. But I liked I don't know if you can see the menu. It's very straightforward. You have the country style breakfast with everything made from scratch. The blueberry pancakes, highly recommend. I remember, so after I posted the pictures on Facebook, Paula Deming actually commented, and she was there right after I was there, and she got the hot apple dumpling, and she said it was awesome. So I wanted to go back to try it again, but the next couple of days, whenever I went back, the line was just way. I think I got there too late every morning. Plus the convention went to town, so there's a lot more people. So I missed out on the hot apple dumpling, but hopefully next time I'll be able to do that. Speaking of Reading Terminal Market, I got a roast pork sandwich. I didn't go for the cheesesteak this time, which is, what you think of when you go to Philly. But apparently, a lot of locals actually prefer the roast pork. And I got to say, I'm a fan. This is served in a hoagie roll, soft roll. But you've got roast pork, very thinly sliced roast pork. And in this version, over there at Denick's, they have like a broccoli, I forget what it's called, like a broccoli style topping. And then they have the hot peppers. You could got hot or sweet. I got the hot. It was really good, folks. And I ate half, and this is the other half. You can see all the pork that's in it. Very, very thinly sliced. Well done. It also has some mozzarella cheese. So basically a cheesesteak, but with pork. I ate half of it. I figured, hey, the other half would make a good later day snack. I ate the whole thing. I didn't even need to bring it. I was going to bring it, but oh, man. Yeah, it was too good to go, to pass up. So I ate the whole thing. It was wonderful. This is right next to, that's somewhere in the market. I don't know if that's actually Denick's. It's just some random pig, and it says, the people were like donating dollars to it. I didn't donate, but maybe if you donate, you get good luck for, I don't know, whatever. But I'm going to take a quick sip of water. I'm getting hungry looking at these photos again. I'm not going to lie. So there it is. Tommy Denick's, roast pork and beef. I had there's always a line there. Pretty quick service, though. I took this picture because I like that bull's head. I don't know. I like random stuff like that. And hey, we're at PAX Unplugged. Why not play a game, right? Here we are. This is the first game I played, the Sprawlopolis. I got to play this with Julia, and also later on, I think IT Omar Hernandez joined us. But we played this at my hotel, just hanging out after I'd eaten my lunch. Just hung out, through Discord. Got to hang out with Discord members. It was great, and I got to teach Sprawlopolis. We actually won this game. I didn't think we'd win. But we scored 20-something points, and the threshold was like 18 or whatever. So if you've never played Sprawlopolis, this is a button-shy game, 18 cards, and it's a cooperative game. It makes a great solo game where you're trying to get the different terrains to line up and also the roads. And then on the back of each card, this is so clever, there are different scoring conditions. So you randomly just shuffle them up, draw 3 at random. Those will be your scoring. Then you shuffle them up. Then you start using the cards to lay down on your tableau. And you always score like each area, like, hey, the most industrial, that's all together, the most residential, etc. And then you're going to look at those scoring options. Oh, highly, highly recommend it. There's my friends, Julia and IT Omar Hernandez. And then we played Cat in the Box, which is so, so good. I'm not going to lie. If you're not a trick-taking fan, this will not change your mind. But if you are a trick-taking fan, highly, highly recommend. This is one of the best trick-taking games out there. It is so unique. If you ever played a trick-taking game with no suits, this is it. They do not have suits. You're going to determine the suit of each of your cards. They're just numbered. And on that little board there, you're going to put down some of your tokens. Like, okay, I declare this one to be blue. Or go yellow or whatever. And so you're going to try to win tricks, as you always do in trick-taking games. You're going to declare first. What do you think? What... I think I'm gonna win 3 at the end of this round. You always do at the start, and then the tokens that you place on the board, you're going to get points. You're going to score points if they're connected. So it's got this sort of like spatial thing too. It's so clever. I am very, very impressed by this. I got to play it first at Gen Con, and we actually played it wrong, but with other friends. But you know, I still liked it. But then this confirmed it after I played with Omar and Julia that this is, oh, it's so good. Now, as I said, if you've never played a trick-taking game before, if you're introducing new players, I wouldn't recommend this. It's a bit much because you really need to know trick-taking, I think, before you... I mean, you could totally learn it if you never played trick-taking, but I think there's this appreciation, right? You really appreciate where they're coming from, this design, if you're used to trick-taking games. Okay, next game is, Omar taught us Fantasy Realms. I've never played Fantasy Realms. I've only played the sort of like the next version of it, iteration in Red Rising from Stonemaier Games, but this is the inspiration behind Red Rising, and boy, I really enjoy this. It's so quick, but every single card that you have has such a tense decision, like, oh, do I keep this? What am I trying to do? You're basically trying to score cards in your hand, but you have to, it's always like take one, place one down. And when you have 10 in the tableau, when all players together have placed 10, the game's over, you immediately score. So you're trying to push your luck. Like, am I going to try to score this one, which requires this, this, and this? Or do I going to score this one that requires this, that, and that? Oh, it's so good, folks. Super easy to learn, but there are so many ways to score, and then, you know, you'll see what other players are placing down. So do you pick those up, or do you draw from the deck? Really, really, really good game. So that is Fantasy Realms. And the next one we played, another card game, another big hit, Scout. Scout is wonderful. This is the Oink Games edition. I have the older one. Omar, Julia, and I played this at 3. This is the one where you're trying to... it's a ladder climbing game, so you start with, like, say, you know, a pair or just a single number. You have to beat it either with, you know, a higher number, or a higher pair, or a higher 3 of a kind, or sequence. You cannot move the cards in your hand. So a poker player like myself will always want to shuffle cards. No, you have to leave them the way you get them, and then you take those out and play them. But as you take them out, your cards, you know, come together, and you'll form other combos and stuff. Another clever game, another big hit, Scout. Moving on. Oh, hey, my friend Amanda McKnight. I was super excited because we finally got to meet. Amanda and I have worked together at Renegade. We've done other stuff. I've had her on my stream. And we're excited to meet because we're planning on something for 2023. We're going to collaborate on a project. I'm very excited about it. Can't talk about it now, but it was such a pleasure to meet Amanda. So shout out to Amanda. Good to see you, friend. We actually, this was at my hotel. I don't know. She had come there with someone else who was staying there, and we just were like, oh my gosh, that's Amanda. That's Ruel. So very cool to meet her. Just a lovely person, and I'm excited for the project we're working on. I can't wait to share that with y'all. Okay, and that's Amanda again. And dinner that night was at Maggiano's. Thanks to the team at Sovereignty, I got to meet their team. I was invited by Danny there and had the lovely mushroom ravioli. Boy, this was good. Very rich, but the flavor is just chef's kiss. I've been to Maggiano's before in LA. There was one near one of my brothers lived by, and did the family thing there. And then we did separate dishes for this one. You could do family style, but each of us did different dishes and had a great time there. Lovely conversation. Shout out to the Sovereignty team. We'll have a little bit more about them in just a second. Coming back from dinner, I met up with more friends from Discord. I believe it was Sophie Razor and also Linnaeus Cabal. We played Baron Park from Phil Walker Harding. Praise be. Loved it. I always loved this one, so it was nice to play it. Last time I played it was actually on BGA, so it was nice to get the physical version down again. Great game. And this one I'd never played. I didn't even know this was a thing. This was the game Quick and Easy. So the game, right? The game called The Game, Quick and Easy. So in this one, it was a cooperative. You either go up numbers, sequences 1 through 10, or descending 10 through 1. Now the real game, the original game is like 1 through 100, right? And then this is the game that was the basis for the Mind. But this one, I thought this was such a cool way to play the game. It's way quicker. We played it a couple times. It was like 5 to 10 minutes each, and it was still kept the real cool, like, oh, do I play this? And you can talk, but you couldn't really say what you had. But you could say stuff, oh, I really want to go high on this one or low on that one. Excellent. I have to pick this up. I mean, I like the art. The art's sort of funky. But I think one of the players said it was sort of like Beetlejuice-like, which I can see. But I really enjoyed this version of the game. And then we played some Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. I love all the Castles of Burgundy games. This one we were talking about because myself and Linnea, we had both backed the super deluxe version from Awakened Realms. We're so fired up about that. But this one here, this is the dice game, the roll and write version. It really captures the feeling of Castles of Burgundy in a roll and write form. I got crushed by Linnea, but that's I'm quickly learning that's pretty much what happens when you play Linnea. She's so good at games, but great game. Always love it. That's that. The next morning, look who I ran into. These handsome gentlemen, Matthew Jude, Nick Murphy, and Mike Murphy. We went to the Down Home Cafe, had a lovely breakfast there. I had the scramble, which was scrambled eggs, home fries, and sausage with a buttermilk biscuit. Now, here's the thing. See that little thing in the corner there? I'm from California. I just assumed that's salsa. I'm glad I didn't just pour it on my eggs because, as I quickly found out, y'all don't do salsa in Philadelphia. That is a little packet of jam for the biscuit. So I was like, oh, this is sweet, not spicy. So I had to get used to that. I'm a salsa guy. I love salsa on my eggs in the morning. That was not it. And the convention hall, friends. Oh my goodness. PAX Unplugged. I will love you forever because of this one section called the Crokinole Zone. As you can see, dozens and dozens of table or crokinole boards as far as the eye can see. This was early in the morning, so it hadn't been filled up yet, but this area was filled throughout the day with players learning crokinole. And I actually, so I was on my way to my shift of hanging out with Wise Wizards of Games. I was taking this photo, and a couple showed up, and I taught them the game. I was like, hey, they're like, oh, is this crokinole? I was like, yeah, have you ever played? They're like, no. I had to teach them, and so I taught them that game. It's so easy to learn, and I saw them playing afterwards, so hopefully we got another a fan for life. But oh, I love that game. Here I am at the Wise Wizards booth. Star Realms, they were promoting Rise of Empire and a bunch of their other games. Even before, I had gone out there with Wise Wizards, I've always loved their games. I'm a big fan of Star Realms. I have the app. I am always playing games of Star Realms on my app. I don't think I've got Hero Realms yet on the app. I need to get that one, but that's their booth there. And here I am with Linnea. We played Star Realms, the Frontiers edition. There's Soften Eraser. We played there. And I'm gonna let y'all know on the Friday I went undefeated, y'all. So it was like 4 or 5-0. So I'm gonna brag about it because the next day, that was Saturday? No, Friday. Yeah, Saturday, I didn't do as well. Here we are. Okay, that's the game event. So they had tournaments, they had learn to plays, they had me hanging out playing Star Realms with whoever wanted to play. So a lot of fun. There is Hero Realms. I actually taught Hero Realms when the Star Realms stuff was sort of quiet. There's some folks that want to learn Hero Realms, which I was very happy to teach. I taught a couple of different couples. One had never played Hero Realms. One had played Star Realms and had never played Hero Realms. So it was a really easy transition. It's very similar, but Hero Realms is a little more combo-tastic, as I like to say. Very nice game. There is the OG. Actually, no, this isn't the OG. Oh, yeah. This is the Frontiers edition of Star Realms. So the Frontiers basically replaced the base game deck and gave some different cards. I like that deck a lot, actually. There's the bots that help me, scrap cards. Hey, we've got our friends Deadpan and Giggles. So nice to meet them. It was, I can't tell you how much it meant to me to meet so many of you all from chat. It was the best. And then lunchtime. Linnea really, I got to shout out Linnea. She made sure I was, always had a meal buddy. She just, would check in, say, hey, if you want to eat. I was like, oh, thank you. So we went across the Reading Terminal Market, found an Indian place. She had never had Indian food, and I can only do so much meat. I'm trying not to do so much meat. So here is a vegetarian dish. We have the garbanzo beans. We have the spinach. There's rice. So the garbanzo, I don't know if it was actually chana masala. I think it was. So this is more like a fast food Indian joint. So it wasn't like hardcore chana masala is a little more, I would say, not quite as spicy or whatever. But if you notice there, that also, it was funny. The samosa was made of like phyllo dough. I never had a samosa like that. It was super light, very flavorful. It was potato. I got the potato one, but a really good meal. And then afterwards, right? So in the Reading Terminal Market, there's a bunch of places you can sit, right? There, you just grab a seat wherever. We just happened to sit right across the place from the banana pudding place. I was like, oh my gosh, I love banana pudding. That banana pudding, folks, was on point. Not quite as good as the banana pudding I had last year in Nashville, but this was very, very good. I loved it. Hey, back at the con, I got to see my buddy Ross Thompson there on the right, and he introduced me to an NFL player. That is Johnny Stanton. He's played for the Cleveland Browns. I think he's a free agent now, but he's like a major D&D guy now. He just loves D&D. Yeah, it's a really cool thing to see him getting some of his NFL teammates to play D&D with him, and they have a regular group. Very cool. And Ross introduced me to Johnny, so I'm like, hey, nice to meet you, Johnny. I like to think I have a pretty decent handshake. This guy nearly crushed my hand in his, just, a young, strong kid, but very, very kind, and took the time out to chat a little bit. Ross talked about a little bit of what I did, and then what, Johnny, we chatted for a minute or two, but very, very cool. Appreciate him taking the time out. And then, so after that, I went to my event for the day, which was hanging out with the Sovereignty team, and I played Sushi Go Party, the golf game. And these are the rules. They had them printed out on cards. Folks, this may be the way I play Sushi Go from now on. It's just Sushi Go, but you play for the lowest score. So there's a lot more player interaction, trying to, hose your neighbors with, cards that'll score them more points and score you the fewest. I thought it was great. I'm looking forward to teaching Michelle how to play it this way. Sushi Go Party Golf. Again, shout out to Sovereignty, Danny, and the team for having me host an event. I had a lot of fun. And look at this picture. So I wanted to say hi to Isaac and Lindsay over at the Rose Gauntlet booth, and I found a dog and a cat. Seriously, these were real animals. I don't know if they're like support animals or whatever, but it was so awesome to see. This is a 1-year-old Frenchie named Beau, Beau, super cute dog. And then this is his sister, Arrow the cat. So Beau and Arrow. This kitty, folks, they were just carrying him in arms. It was totally cool. And then they had him on a leash too, or had her on a leash. I thought it was so neat. And so I got to say hi. They let me take pictures. Made my con. It's super cute. And there is the Rose Gauntlet booth. Wild Gardens. I cannot wait to play this game. This is the product of early production. But this is a game of foraging for food. And you're going to try to make dishes and serve them. The action spaces on the left. Can y'all see that there? Yeah. Those action spaces, they all start generic, but then they improve as the game goes. You're going to get actions. You're going to add to them. You're going to transform those actions, and you're going to move around the board. Oh, this is excellent. Isaac Vega is just an awesome designer, and what him and Lindsay are doing with Rose Gauntlet, I am a big fan of, and I can't wait to play this. I mean, it's about food. So if you don't know, Lindsay Rose, folks, she used to be a chef. That was her job before she said, hey, I'm done cooking. Well, not done cooking, but I'm going to go move from the professional world of cooking in the professional world of gaming. So she has this background in cooking. Now, remember, so funny story, that event I was talking about earlier, actually probably in the pre-show. So I had hung out with Mandy Hutchinson. We'd done a panel at the Pathways game event in LA in October. Isaac Vega was one of the is a member of the board, actually, and he gave a really nice presentation on his story about getting into gaming. So he was in LA for a couple of days. I said, Isaac, I'd love to just hang out, chat, have dinner. I took him to a Korean restaurant. We had a wonderful Korean dinner. The whole time he's like taking pictures and he sent them to Lindsay, and poor Lindsay, I'm sure he's like super jealous. She was like, oh my gosh, so we're all like foodies at heart. It was really neat to connect with Isaac then. And I got to say hi to him and Lindsay, and that meant a lot. So that was their game, Wild Gardens. That's going to go, I believe, on Kickstarter early next year or mid next year. I don't remember the date, but, you can look it up on the interwebs, folks. Okay. Moving right along. Oh, This was the big hit. One of the big hits at PAX Unplugged. Boop! I actually have a copy here, folks. So, boop! Scott Brady, he had designed Hues and Cues for the op. This is his next design, and this is an abstract game about super cute cats. You and one other player, it's a 2-player game. You have these little cat meeples. You place them on bed, and it's actually like a quilt. I mean, it feels like a quilt. You place them, and then if there are cats adjacent to you, boop, they move out a space. So they could fall off the bed. Basically, where you're trying to you're trying to line them up like 3 in a row, because if you line up 3 in a row, your kittens now become cats. And then cats, they cannot be pooped by kittens, so they stay there. So I still need to look through the rules. That was like the basic spiel. I think you need to get all of your... There's 2 ways to win. I think it's you get all your kittens to become cats, or get them on board or something, or get them in a row. I don't know, but all I know is that this thing sold out. People were just all over it. I had seen a very early prototype or early production copy at Gen Con, and I was intrigued. And then once I got to PAX U, everyone was talking about Boop, and that thing sold out. So they had... I don't know how many they had. They had a lot, but it was gone by Sunday. Very, very excited to play that. Next up, we have... Oh, that's shout out to Robert and the Arcane Wonders team for the Arcane Wonders mug. I really appreciate it. Had to take a picture of it. Here's... so I went to Dim Sum Garden in Philly. And actually, this is the dinner I had with Amanda McKnight, where we were talking, about our project. We went there, and again, Dim Sum Garden was good. But y'all were talking about your soup dumplings. Let me get the... this is the shumai. Pretty straight up. Not bad. This was I think the pork and cabbage. Again, I did them boiled. Not bad. This is the soup dumpling. If you ever had Din Tai Fung, you've had the best soup dumplings in the world. Apparently this restaurant was the first to bring the recipe for Xiaolong Bao soup dumplings to the U.S. Respect, but come on, these Din Tai Fung, they may not have invented them, but they perfected them. These were good. Din Tai Fungs are sublime. They're phenomenal. So folks in Philly, come out to... I can find a Din Tai Fung. They're in New York, LA, and I don't know if they have one in Philly. Go to Din Tai Fung for soup dumplings for Xiaolong Bao, because these were good, but not great. I did like their scallion pancakes. I usually like scallion pancakes anyway, so not a bad scallion pancake. So afterwards, then I went back to the hall, ran into Tate Wu, Alone Chark, and Jess CCG and her partner, Aaron from Game Enthuse, and we played Mantis. Now, Aaron taught it, and I thought this was a fun game. It's got a lot of take that. You're just trying to, it's a push your luck game and trying to basically grab 10 of these Mantis cards into your scoring pile. And this is from the guy who did the oatmeal, Matthew Inman, and I believe it's the same company, Exploding Kittens, right? That does these really light but fun gateway party family games. I like this so much. I ended up buying a copy the other day because they had a sale where it was free. All you had to do was pay shipping. It was like, I don't know where I saw it. I think it was on one of the Slacks or Discords I'm in, but someone posted, it was like, oh, really? I just played that at PAX U. I'm buying a copy, yes. So for $7 shipping, I got a copy of this. This is going to be a fun game to play on during the Christmas Eve celebration that we have with family, because it's light, it's funny, like the art and stuff, and yeah, it fits that mode of, hey, this is something you're going to get to the table really quickly with non-gamers and casual gamers. So here it is. I got the Pirate Mantis. I believe I won, so of course I love the game. It's the greatest game ever. Tate Wu also showed us his new game coming to Kickstarter next month. Fork, F-O-R-K, Fox, Owl, Rabbit, Kale. A trick-taking game that's a little simpler than other trick-taking games. It's very easy to learn because the icons are very easy to grasp, and just the way he does tricks is really interesting. So you can play, you lead with any suit. You have to follow suit if possible, but then you do it in a specific order. You go from the highest number to lowest, and you're going to start with, if there's a fox, which is wild, The fox eats or takes out the owl eats or takes out the rabbit, and the rabbit takes the kale. But if two things are played at the same time, they cancel each other out. If you have a kale left over at the end, you're going to score that, and that scores in set collection. Otherwise, you're going to get points for what you've eaten. I'll come back to this game later at the end of this, because I've got another fun little story to share with you about that. There it is right there. Fork, fox, owl, rabbit, and kale. Matthew and Justin from Room 51. I got to meet them for the first time. They are my fellow TLNers, Tabletop Live Networks. They're from the East Coast. I was so thrilled to see them. They're very, very kind people. Matthew has been a voice, not only with TLN, but on their channel, Room 51, but also the Dice Tower. A voice that's important, that needs to be heard, and I appreciate everything they're doing to further the cause of LGBTQ rights, and just, you know, being a positive presence in the board game space and community. So thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Justin, for what you do. It was a thrill to meet them. We talk all the time on Discord, but to actually meet someone that you have, you know, so much respect for, and someone that you admire, it meant a lot for them to, you know, take some time out and just chat with me. So there I am, the very next day, Saturday. Go USA, Team USA. I am representing my local American Outlaws chapter, the Inland Empire. That is our supporter group for Team USA. We know how that game went, unfortunately. I had meetings. I had a meet and greet, and then I had an event that morning. I was trying to see if I could reschedule them to go, and I was gonna sneak away for a little bit to catch the game. Then I saw the US was down early 2-0 by halftime, and I was like, do I really need to see this? Congrats to the Netherlands, but Team USA, proud of you. You made it to the knockout round, and with such a young team, I think we're in great shape in the next 4 years. Okay, at breakfast, folks, I ran into one of my heroes, Rodney Smith from Watch It Played. He had seen me, you know, we were at the same breakfast place. Again, I was eating breakfast with the brothers Murph, and he saw me, he came over, and I saw him out of the corner of my eyes. Oh my gosh, so big hug. We had never met in person before, yet it felt like seeing an old friend. It was just really, Rodney Smith has got an impeccable reputation in this industry for good reason. He is truly one of the kindest people you'll meet, and I speak about this not because we just met, but he sent me video messages in the past, just encouraging me. He's done so much to make the hobby a better place through this. I'm actually getting choked up right now, because I want to follow his example. He's just a good, decent human being, and he does a lot for the industry. He speaks up using his voice and his platform to further causes and to highlight smaller channels, and also channels from underrepresented minorities. I cannot thank him enough for that. Again, he understands the privilege he has, and yet he uses his platform for good. And I have the utmost respect for Rodney. And the conversation we had, it was really neat. We only spoke for a few minutes because, you know, it was a crowded restaurant, and honestly, they told us, hey, we can't crowd the aisle here. We talked about our families. We talked about our children. I thought that meant a lot to me. You know, you could talk about anything, you know, when you meet someone you look up to, like, oh, I'm such a fan of, you know, this, what games you're playing. But no, we talked about our children, and I thought that was really neat, and it was just very just a neat quick conversation. So thank you, Rodney, for all that you do, and thanks for taking the time to chat with me, my friend. I appreciate that. Here's what I ate at Down Home. This is the low carb breakfast. I wanted some veggies. When you're at conventions, you sort of forget to eat veggies and fruit. Look, I ate my veggies. I had sausage, eggs, toast, and tomatoes. And there you go. And near that toast again, what I thought was salsa is actually jam. Oh, Philly, you're killing me. Hey, there's Danny from Sovereignty Games. This is the event that I did for them, the meet and greet. Folks, I got to play Dice Miner, the actual Dice Miner game. Danny was teaching it to some people. They have it on Sovereignty. Actually, the app right there, that is the Night Cage, but they do have it on the app and website. You can play Dice Miner there. Folks, find me on Discord, join the Discord, and there's a sovereignty channel there, and we put games up of who's playing what. You can hang out with me and play Dice Miner. One of my favorite games last year. Michelle and I love this one. Shout out to Danny and her team. I got to play with Brian Ashman, another very valued member of the board game community here online and in Discord, on Twitch, and elsewhere. We got to play a game. It was his first time playing. Also played with Software Razor. We had such a good time. I love this game. And there's the Wise Wizards booth. Super crowded on Saturday. It was just absolutely packed. So thank you if you came by. There were some of our friends there, as we saw. That's another picture of Linnaeus, Deadpan, and Giggles. Appreciate them hanging out, friends. Afterwards, had a quick bite of pizza. Shout out to Linnea for finding this place, because I needed to get over. I was like running super late to my next event with CGE, Ray, myself, Eric Yorko, then the guys from Table Knots. We played a fun game of Pictomania, but first I had to eat something, and this slice of pizza was wonderful. I actually got 2 slices. I ate one, brought the other one in the room. I just ended up giving it to Ray, because Ray was streaming hardcore from their hotel room, which they turned into a makeshift studio. And I know how it is. So I was like, "Yo, Ray, eat some veggie pizza." So it was great. I think it was called Ray. No, it was like Rex's Pizza or something over there. Some little mom and pop hole in the wall joint. Excellent stuff. Here was at so during that event, I unfortunately missed the Brothers Murph, Paula Deming, and Matthew Jude doing This Game Is Broken. They did a live show of it. But this is the meetup afterwards, and I got to hang out with some wonderful folk here. I love all their channels. We have Dwayne from Blackboard Gaming right there. We have Michelle from Second Star to the left. And we have Jeff and Jamie from Foster the Meeple. Amazing folks. They do great stuff. And, we had a couple of conversations talking about how it's great to see each other, but we just wish we had more time at these things to actually hang out and play games and stuff. But even the 5-10 minutes conversations, it still means a lot to me personally, just to connect with folks. Very neat things. And then, hey, I met up with Andrew. He is the channel manager for Rahdo, the channel that I work for. Rahdo runs through. We were gonna go. I was gonna take him back to that ramen place I went to the first night. It was an hour-long wait. So I put my name down. And I said, I'm really hungry. I know you're really hungry. Why don't we put our name down? If they happen to call us quickly, we'll go back. But there's a little place, a Thai place right around the corner, serving this chicken. And they have all kinds of, they had the, drunken noodles, all kinds of stuff. I got this chicken, which you do mix. So I did half boiled, half fried. And then they have the different sauces on top of this jasmine garlic rice. Oh, wonderful dish. I loved it. I ate almost all of it. It was a big serving, but both of them were so good, especially with the sauces. There's the boiled one. Oh, it was funny. Andrew didn't think the boiled one was going to be good. I was like, no, you never had this before. It's excellent. And back at the hotel, there was a big event for Marquee. Oh my gosh, I don't want to mess up. I think it's Marquee Studios. Sorry if I got the name wrong. It'll be, I'll correct in the show notes below. But Benita helped put it together. That's Benita, and that's also Russ for Chits and Giggles. He came over almost last minute on a flight from England. So shout out to Russ for making it out. Good to see them. They're also fellow TLN members. Wonderful party. Had a great time. There's a lot of people there, including that handsome gentleman right there, Matthew Jude. First time we ever met in person. He was taller than I expected, which I like. I think is what I say about most people. But he another one that just a wonderful person to be around. You got that really positive energy about him that and he's very witty, just like he is on the shows that he does. So funny, just a good guy. Hey, back at my hotel, I just happened to find this. I thought this was perfect. A Monopoly $20 bill on a random couch. I didn't know anyone was playing Monopoly, but I found it reassuring that I found that there. I believe this might be my last day here on Sunday. Yet another view of the City Hall as I walk out into 40-degree weather. Over to the Reading Terminal Market, where I had a breakfast at, I forget the name of the place, but it was a diner counter, and I had shrimp and grits. And that in the middle is a turkey andouille sausage, sort of like gravy. I love it. It was good. The shrimp, I felt like it was a little overdone for what it was, but the grits, cheesy grits with the andouille sausage gravy, wonderful. I would definitely do it again. I was so excited about this. I had to see this game. Josh Wood works for CGE, or I mean AEG. Sorry about that. And he designed Santa Monica. He's also developed a bunch of other games. And this game he was working on during the pandemic. He wanted to do this earlier. I believe the story goes. He wanted, let's go to Japan. It's a game about travelers going to Japan. And I am so fired up about this because Josh, number one, does great games. And number two, I love the theme. Michelle, and I always talk about we want to go back to Japan because we loved our trip there a couple of years ago. Excuse me. And this is actually the video. I don't know if the sound's on. But that's a video of the box and stuff, a little closer look at the, game board and whatnot. Hopefully the sound isn't too loud. But anyways, fit to print over at Flat Out Games. So this is Sunday. I went around because I was in a mad rush. I had not seen as much stuff as I thought I would the previous days. So on Sunday morning, I just hit up as many booths as possible. Fit to print, you saw myself play this here on my channel. You've seen other channels cover it. This is another hit for Flat Out Games. I love everything they do with tile laying games. This is art by Ian O'Toole and designed by Peter McPherson of Tiny Town fame. I love the theme. It's about putting your own newspaper. Go watch my playthrough because I talk a little bit about why that theme is really really close to my heart. But the game itself is wonderful. It's got a little real-time element, but you can play it turn-based as well. This is the one I'm super excited about. I love Point Salad. Point City is coming out next year, folks. And Point City, it's got a little engine building to it. Not only it's still set collection, it's literally a point salad, but now you're in the city trying to gather resources. Got a little engine going on. Gonna have to check that out, folks. Love it. This is DeVere Games. I want to shout out my friend Marcelo, as always, my longtime friend. It's funny. Marcelo and I actually went to high school together, and then I got in the industry a few years ago. He's been in it for over 20 years. He works for DeVere. They put out awesome stuff like Paris, the tile laying game, and then Lacrimosa, which is a huge hit, Lacrimosa. Mila Fiori is a new game, or is a game. I don't know if it's brand new or if it's a remix, but it's a Reiner Knizia game. I'm fired up to get a copy of that one. And then you also have the classics, Cockroach Poker, and other games that they do. Including Luna Capital and more. So DeVere Games, they're doing stuff right over there. They're putting out some really great content, folks. So be sure to check them out. Moving right along, Van Ryder Games. Again, you'll notice that because it's Sunday, I got there early before the doors open to the public. So a lot of the vendors, they're either out getting breakfast or just settling in. So I didn't get to talk to everyone I wanted to, but Van Ryder Games, they've got Final Girl, Hostage Negotiator, and their series of graphic novel adventures, which I love. They're always nice to see those guys. Keepers as well is a fun twist on Dixit with awesome art. Pandasaurus, I saw Raina briefly, Raina and Phil actually, and Raina's working for Pandasaurus now. That Nacho Pal, I need to get a copy of that. It just looks like a Doritos bag. I know it's like a lighter game, but I need to play that. I've actually played Splitter. That's a really fun roll and write, quick roll and write. It does this interesting thing where you roll dice, you choose which side they go on, but they have to be exactly opposite each other, like the number of spaces, so you're filling up two sides at once. Very interesting take on the roll and write game. There's Wild Guardians again, Keystone North America. That's the Rose Gauntlet booth before they set up Sunday morning. And now this one is called Nemalia this is at the Lucky Duck booth. So shout out to Bree. She showed me this one. This is early production copy. I'm going to love this game, folks. And I was already telling Bree, I want to cover this. Michelle's going to like it. It's a tile laying thing where you have these 4 different, animals or whatever. But as you see here, there are different goals. So you have the different goals, like what one needs to be next to each other, what colors. It's sort of like got the cartographers thing. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You play 5 rounds, and each round you're going to see what's connected, and those are the ones you're scoring. I really like that one. And you're flipping over cards trying to decide where they go. I think you have a couple in your hand, and you go around. It's probably like a 20-30 minute game, but this, I feel like it's already just hits that sweet spot of lighter game, but gives you enough. It's not as light as you think it is, and it has that scoring element, because those 4 cards there, those are 4 of many, so you can totally change it up. And then you have the 5 rounds, just like cartographers. They're going to score different points at different times in the game. Really excited about that. Speaking of Bree, there she is right there, along with my friend Derek Funkhauser on the left there from Wide Wizard Games. Also Matt Felucci from Skybound. We bonded the night before, and also this day too. We are both proud pug papas. We have pugs. Very nice to finally meet Matt in person and just talk about pugs. So really, really great. There is the Pencil First Games booth. I talked to Eduardo briefly right before this photo. They had all their games set up. I'm gonna be teaming up with the Pencil First team in January. So got some exciting plans for that. But seeing all those games, it reminds me how much I love Pencil First games, especially their small box ones. Delicious, Floriferous, Herbaceous, all excellent games. Also the Whatnot cabinet, and also the 100 Tory. My gosh, folks, they do some excellent stuff. Hey, this was a total fanboy moment. I, just like Rodney Smith, I look up to Banana Chan. Like, she has been someone that I've looked up to and been inspired by for many years in this industry. As just as a voice of good out there and doing things, just inspired by her talent as a writer. And now she has her own game company, folks, publishing, a RPG game based on Chinese culture, and also a board game about boy bands. Just very unique themes, and I think that's awesome. And we need more designers like that. And also, she's just brilliant, and she works now for Pokemon. I mean, come on, man. So just being able to talk to her, sort of like, it just means a lot to be in certain people's presence, right? And just, let them know how inspired I've been by them. It helps me, I feel like it just helps me feel better about, hey, I'm not the only like Asian person or person of color that's working in the industry. And, Banana's been doing a lot longer than I have and doing a lot better. And I just, I look up to her, and just be able to convey those feelings meant the world to me. So thanks, Banana, for saying hello to me. And there's her game, Jingxi. This is the one she did with Senfu Ling, another fantastic designer that I've been, following for a long time. Anytime Senfu Lim works with Jay Cormier, they put some good stuff out. And I haven't played this RPG yet. I don't do a lot of RPGs. I would like to do more. And I actually talked to Banana about this a little bit. So I may be doing some more RPGs in the near future, folks. I would love to. Okay. There's Banana at work. She got the fanny pack, so she's working right there. Right back there, there's the Battle of the Boy Bands game that I think it's just such a cool theme. Okay, Ducks in Tow. I was just talking about this during the pre-show, where I'll be playing this tomorrow. That is on December 8th on my Twitch channel live. I'm going to be playing it with the new Bugs and Slugs expansion. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, that'll be its own separate video where I play through it. This is the booth that they had at PAX U. There's Stephanie right there. She had this, I thought it was so cool. She was dressed literally head to toe in ducks, right? That's the super cute theme. You are just walking around the park, and these ducks follow you. You feed them, they follow you. It's super cute. And you have to help. It's like a pick up and deliver game at its heart, so you're going to bring them to their favorite spots. But look at Stephanie. Look at this. Even the feet. She's got the duck feet, webbed shoes. That was hilarious. So that's First Fish Games. Be sure to check out their Ducks in Tow Kickstarter campaign happening right now. And here are our friends. Eric, you'd seen him earlier, and also Mandy Hutchinson. Mandy is the person that I traded all the candied with. She gave me all kinds of... She went overboard, folks. She gave me so much great Canadian candy. I'm going to be eating it for months to come. So thank you, Mandy. And also thank you, Eric, for just being a good guy. Another picture of Jeff and Jamie, Foster and Meeple. Love them. Go check out their channel. They're just awesome human beings. Here I am. We were just talking about Banana. There's Pokemon. There's a big Pokemon in the middle of the floor. I had to take that because I got to show my niece who loves Pokemon. This was a random meetup, and I love this because I'm fans of both of them. Actually, I had talked to Nicole. She used to do stuff for Daily Worker Place, the Daily worker placement, is that what it's called? Website, and then she also did a podcast for many years. She's out of the content side, but she's still a gamer. So, you know, I said, hey, Nicole, if you're there, we got to meet up. I've been a fan of hers for so long. And also Eric from, I'm totally blanking, not Cardboard Herald, folks. I'll put in the link below. But Eric, I've been following him on Twitter for a long time. And again, another positive voice out there, does good work. And just happy to, like, I was talking to Nicole, and then Eric stopped and said, Nicole, Ruel? And it's like, oh my gosh, Eric. It, just a really, really nice chance to see everyone there. This is in front of the Leader Games booth, Root. Their big thing is Ahoy. They're going to be really pushing hard because Ahoy, I think it's now at retail, and I will be playing that on the channel as well real soon. And right next to the near Leader booth, I ran into Jazz, and again, there's Michelle from Second Star to the left. Jazz from the Lobby of Hobbies. I've actually seen him earlier a couple of times during the con. We're still trying to get together for a game of Baseball Highlights 2045, but he's just as busy as I am, and unfortunately we didn't get this time. But next time, Jazz, for sure. We all got, us three and Brothers Murphy and a bunch of other people at Gen Con got to hang out and watch a baseball game, which is a real treat. So I see these two, they're big baseball fans just like I am. It's just nice to see fellow baseball fans who are also board gamers. Tiffany, another one of those people I really look up to. Tiffany is a wonderful writer, writes for Goonhammer. And just, if you follow Tiffany, she is, always, she's on Twitter, and she always, writes stuff on, safety as far as, dealing with Twitter trolls and whatnot. She's also on Hive and Mastodon, all kinds of different social outlets. But check out her writing. She also does, this thing in New York, and I've always wanted to go. One of these days, it's not drag queen bingo. It's like drag queen, rock and roll, or, oh gosh, I'm sorry. It's I think a game show. It sounds like a lot of fun, but Michelle and I have done drag queen bingo here in LA before. It's always a good time. But shout out to Tiffany. Again, gracious with their time. We stopped, wanted to meet up. We didn't, but then we ran into each other. I saw Tiffany. I had to yell, Tiffany, sorry, But again, very gracious for their time, and we got to hang out for a few minutes and meet and chat for a few. But speaking of Button Shy, we were talking about this during the pre-show. Button Shy had this really cool booth. I just love the, I love my analog alerts here on the channel. This is the old school sign. I love it. They had the clothespins, and there's all the games. I'm still kicking myself for not buying everything I don't have already, but hopefully we'll get copies of them soon. But I love their booth. I mean, you saw it's all hand painted and crafted, very analog-y style. I love it. There is from Hachette. We've got Danny and T. Got to they're super busy people, but again, hey, fun fact: Danny and I went to the same college together, Go Gauchos, UCSB. T, I've gotten to know through their work at Haba, and now with Hachette. And T, actually, we got to geek out. She's really big in her backpack. And I had seen her talk about this before on Twitter. And I need a new backpack. So I had her give me the rundown of this pack that she got at REI. And she swears, or they swear by it. And I am so just grateful. They showed me everything that was, in this bag, and how it fit perfectly on their back. And I'm like, I need to get one of these. So I had to take a picture of it so I know exactly which one they use, and I'm going to go try it out. They're saying that you can go to REI and they have weights. You can put the weights in the bag and then put it on you and walk around the store as you shop so you can see how it fits and how it feels. Then you return it. I'm like, I'm going to do that next time because I have a local REI. I'm looking to upgrade my bag. So next year for convention season, I'll be ready. Okay, Ross Connell from North Star Games, another TLN member and someone that I have looked up to for a very long time. He does fantastic work, mainly as a photographer, but also now for marketing for North Star. Very kind gentleman. We've met each other twice, Gen Con and now at PAX U. We still haven't played a game. We've chatted a bit. We got to chat at an event at Gen Con, but this is another person, like so many, I just want to spend a little more quality time with in the future. And here I am on the plane home, getting ready to go back to LA. I had the very last seat. I got in late. I mean, not late. I was in one of the last groups to get on. But there's my travel pillow. I mask it up. And funny thing is, sure enough, we're about 15, 20 minutes from the flight. And all of a sudden I realized Tate Wu is sitting right across from me in the other aisle. So this is at the end of the flight, but we took a picture at the when we're landing in Phoenix, and it was so funny. I was like, he was like, Ruel? I was like, Tate? Oh my gosh. And so we had a really good conversation about games and conventions. And then we went to, we landed in Phoenix. We laid over, it was a layover of like 2 hours before we got back to Ontario, LA area. And here's Phoenix. This is a croque monsieur. Yeah, it was sustenance at that point. It's airport food, folks. What are you going to do? But that's my trip. And those are the 2 pugs at the very end of the trip. I'm back at home and I'm happy. And there you go, folks. That is my wrap up of PAX Unplugged. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.